You found it, the Wichita Wow podcast with your host, Ed Fox. We'll be talking to Wichitans about the things they love about their city and what they themselves are doing in their community. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for listening. G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox back with another Wichita Wow, and this is a wow. Wichita Wow is all about telling stories of people from Mulvane up to Newton, across to Goddard and out to Andover, down to Hayesville and Derby and all of the little areas in between. That makes up the Wichita Metro MSA, whatever you want to call it. Bunch of great people, bunch of great stories. And I have a great story for you today. My special guest is Kevin Fish, and he is with AbilityPoint. You might have remembered them as the Arc of Sedgwick County back in the day, a couple of years ago. They did a name change during COVID just to keep us all on our toes, and we'll get into that. And Kevin Fish has been the executive director there for 27 years. I think I served on the board briefly for like 7 months back in the day, and had a great time. And they've got a lot of great stuff going on. So, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on and talk about what AbilityPoint is doing and what you guys, I think from what I was able to have you tell me about before we started the recording, there's a lot going on. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who AbilityPoint is, and for people that have never heard of them, which would surprise me, but they might know some of the programs that you do too.
Right. So, AbilityPoint, we serve people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we're one of the few organizations that serves somebody throughout their entire lifetime. So we serve both youth and adults. When our organization was founded back in 1953, it was founded by parents who were looking for the best opportunities for their children. They wanted to give them the greatest quality of life possible. And at that time, there were just no options really in the community. And essentially, families were told, you need to just send your child to live their life out in an institution. And our parents said, I really want more for that. So they literally put an ad in what was the Wichita Eagle Beacon back in the day and said, hey, this is a kind of a decision I'm having to face. I want to meet some other families. I want to connect. And from that, 31 families came together and our organization was founded. And again, it was about trying to find, how do we give that quality of life to individuals with intellectual disabilities? Again, at that time, they didn't see the potential that was really there. And it's been wonderful to see how much has grown and changed over the years. Some amazing opportunities, people who are living in our community, they own their own homes, drive their own cars, are working in the community. For so many of these individuals who would have been institutionalized back in those days, and they are valuable parts of our community. So, it's been great to be a part of this organization and see that history, because again, it is those passionate parents that helped found our organization, and it's still those passionate parents that help direct where we want to go with programs to fill a need in our community.
And thanks for sharing that, Kevin, because it's so true. When you have somebody with those needs and you're the caregiver to them and you're aging, you wonder who's going to be there to help, who's going to be able to take care of them when you're not going to be there to take care of them. I'd say that that's something you come across every day, I'm sure.
It is, and one of the most powerful stories here, just a couple of years ago, talking to one of our parents, and she said, poignantly, that one of her biggest concerns and hopes is that she can live one day longer than her child, because she can't imagine what life would be like if she wasn't here. And so that's why, again, we try to develop all these different programs and supports and help connect families. So many of our families who've been with us a long time, we've lost several just huge volunteer supporters the last couple of years in aging, and it was helping them to make that transition for their loved ones. So many of them being parents, because again, that is such a challenge, and if you don't have something in place, it can really turn somebody's life upside down. So one of our largest program areas is case management, and it is truly connecting those people with the supports and services in the community, and really walking beside the individual and the whole family to make sure the needs that they have are getting met.
Right, exactly. And so tell us some of the programs that you guys have coming up this year. You have some anniversaries this year, and some of the things that people may recognize about what you do, but maybe not know it was you that did it.
Yeah. So our big anniversary this year is our 70th year. As I mentioned, we're founded in 1953. And, again, over those years, we developed a lot of different programs, some of which we spun off to some other organizations. And so our first preschool program, which spun off to our partners at Starkey, kind of evolved into what's Rainbows United. Our sheltered workshop spun off to the Kansas Elks Training Center for the Handicap Catch here in our community. Today, outside of our case management, one of our largest program areas is our Summer Yes program, and we're gearing up for that. That starts here in just 2 weeks. Youth education and summer socialization, and we would serve usually about 200 families in a summer, and we do an education portion where we're helping the students to continue to maintain some of their skills, their educational skills, but then also being able to then help them give them some incredible experiences in our community. And so that education portion is so important because we all lose stuff during the course of the summer. We see that with students all the time. For our
Right.
kids, it can happen a whole lot quicker. And so by just keeping them in that routine, it really helps them prepare for the next school year. But nobody wants to go to school year round. And so we have it fun and engaging. We do a theme each week. And so we tie all the activities in the classroom, as well as what we do in the afternoons, to that theme. So when we have our last year, we did 1867 about the Old West, and in the morning in the classrooms, we were doing some wonderful stuff. Counting and sorting buffalo, reading stories about the Old West. Each classroom became a place along the trail, and so then the
Right.
classes got to kind of travel along and see all those things. But the great thing again about Wichita is we got wonderful things in the community. So we were able to go to Cowtown. We were able to go out and do horseback riding. We were able to canoe across the river. We were able to learn how to rope a steer and just have, again, these experiences that tie to that theme that just makes it so engaging. We even rented a mechanical bull, and the kids had a blast. And so it was so much fun. But again, that was one of those neat experiences we're able to do because we want to give every one of our kids this quality experience, and they have just incredible memories of the summer. And so they loved being at school during the summer because of the experiences they got.
Right. And I could just imagine because you serve youth, teen, adult, you run the gamut. And there's a lot of great organizations, like you said, that partner with you guys to make things come together and stuff that you guys have built over the years. Now, what is your biggest challenge you're facing this year, and how can people support you?
One of the greatest challenges, we're all still kind of coming out of the pandemic.
Hmm.
And so, when programs ended up getting shut down, and even some of the funding sources and stuff ended up getting shifted in different ways. And so, we're always looking for volunteers. We lost some of our young volunteer pool when the schools shut down.
Right.
We used to be able to recruit through the schools, and all of a sudden the schools were shut down. And even when they started coming back, they weren't allowed to kind of intermingle with some of the other kids. And so our mentoring program, the Circle of Friends program, kind of gone to a halt. And so
Mhm.
this school year, we were just trying to get it. It was almost like starting completely over. And so that natural influx of volunteers we had kind of lost. And so that is so important because so many of the events and activities that we do, clearly we have staff who are running it, but we really rely on volunteers to make these things special, able to engage with the kids or the adults, whatever kind of program it might be, and give them support. And in some cases, helping to set up and serve a meal. It may be chaperoning one of our trips. We go to concerts and ball games and lots of wonderful experiences. And we need volunteers for all of those things. So that is one of those big things. If somebody has a passion or an interest, we would love to have them engage with us because that has been so important. The other thing too, we saw some shift in some of our funding, and so some of the scholarships we used to have for the Yes program we don't have anymore. And so that's become another challenge for us because again, trying to serve as many families as we can, and we don't want cost to be the barrier for them to get to
Right.
participate in this program.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing a lot of efforts to try to do some fundraising just to be able to send some of the kids to camp and give them those experiences.
So and for people that wanted to volunteer, they could just go to your website. Is it abilitypoint.org?
It is just abilitypoint.org. Yeah. Or give us a call, 943-1191. But yeah, you can just connect with us there, and we can kind of walk through and explain what opportunities are there. And if somebody's interested in, for example, volunteering during the summer, you're not locked in for the whole summer. We encourage them to come out and volunteer for a week and see what the experience is like. Because again, we want to make sure it's a good fit for them, and we also don't want somebody to feel like, well, I'm giving up my entire summer. I wanted to go to camp, I wanted to do this. We're very flexible with those kind of things. But I think what we find is when they come and they engage with the kids, they fall in love with the kids, and they fall in love with going in the program, and then they just want to be there.
Right.
So many of our staff positions started off as volunteers.
Right.
And then that is another great way. If you've got a young adult that you're wanting to grow up a little bit, that's a great opportunity for them to connect.
Yeah, I don't know if you recall this or not, but I used to teach the sport of cricket. And one of the fun things was to work with the special needs kids in the school district to go in and teach them how to play the game of cricket. And one of the kids, I said, my name's Ed, and my mum thought I was special. And so one of the kids said, so you're special Ed. And it sort of stuck. And it's become part of what I do when I tell all my dad jokes and that, that I'm special Ed and my mum thought I was special. And but some people that don't know the story that it came from working with special needs kids, they like, oh, well, it doesn't make our parents with special needs kids feel good, that you're making fun of them. I said, here's the story, right? And They go, oh. And so you talk to the actual parents with the special needs kids, they go, oh, that's funny. And, that somebody else would say that. And then, other people are always concerned with how that presents. But that's just it. I think we need to be able to talk more about it and how we as individuals can give back and help and participate, because you're right. We think that we're giving, but we get so much back from those kids and from that opportunity to help in any realm working with those kinds of. It's just amazing that when we played cricket, we were throwing the ball around and somebody hit it and they all went and gave him a hug, and then I caught a ball and they're all coming and hugging me, and it just changes your life. I think just being around and understanding that we each are human, we each need that sort of support, we need that help, and we get as much as we give.
Definitely. One of the things that is oftentimes the biggest barrier to somebody with a disability is the community's understanding, the acceptance that they get. And a lot of times, if you have not had any experience working with or being around somebody with a disability, you don't understand. And so they're a little more standoffish. And we see it from employers, from, students in a classroom and stuff. And the more we can give some of those experiences and they can see we are far more alike than we are different.
Right.
And we all have those same loves and interests. And it may be cricket, and it may be going to movies and dancing and singing and going to concerts, and that through those experiences are like, wow, this is just somebody who just really is enthusiastic for life and has the same interests I do. So we love to give those experiences.
Right. And I think maybe a series of videos or something, or just introductions to understand there's not this huge wall, there's not this huge barrier like you just talked about, the fact we all have the same dreams, the same sort of passions, and and the bad side as well as the good side. I mean, that's all part of the package, right? Most of our angst and everything is hidden on the inside. These kids display that more readily, which can be good, can be not so good, but the engagement and the passion that they show for whatever they're doing, they're all in, right? They're in 100%. And I love that. So tell me, you've got some other programs that are anniversary years as well.
Yeah. So not only is this our 35th summer of our YES program, this is the 10th year for our Miss Unstoppable pageant.
And explain what that is.
Yeah. So when we launched this pageant, actually one of our staff who was involved in our Circle of Friends mentoring program grew up doing some pageants and competed at Miss Kansas, and she wanted to give that kind of experience to some of our girls. And so, in that first year and sort of trying it out, we were kind of like, all right, we'll see how this kind of rolls out, how many people really, and it was such a fabulous response that we got. Not only did the girls get a chance to kind of shine on stage, but the parents emotionally were so excited, and there's tears and laughter and everybody just having such a tremendous time, because again, so many times families feel like they're told what their child will never do, and to
Right.
see them on the stage getting to shine, getting to win all these different category awards and such. And since then, every year the production value has just gone up, and it has become something that whether you are invested in a pageant type event, whether you're interested or have any experience around people with disabilities, everybody loves this program because they just do a fantastic job of really highlighting the girls in a very special way. And it's for ages basically 8 on up. And so we do age categories. And then our overall winner is our Miss Unstoppable, who then represents us through the year. And so when we go to events or activities in the community, they're the ones who help kind of lead the way. So they drop the puck at the Wichita Thunder game, or they've thrown out a first pitch. They're going to be in the Riverfest parade here in a couple of weeks. They help turn on the lights. We have a big preview event for our lights thing, which I'll share more about here in a minute. And then going with us to city council, county commission meetings, and sharing about developmental disabilities, and really do a tremendous job. And again, they're very proud. And through this experience, they grow because they've never had that kind of opportunity in most cases before to get to go and speak on that kind of level. And for our girls that come back and compete it year after year, you see this huge growth.
Growth.
We had a mom that was really concerned that we talked about in the interview portion of the competition. There were with 4 judges who are asking them questions, and one of the things we talked about is trying to make eye contact. Well, she said, my daughter has autism. She's not comfortable making eye contact. I don't think that's fair that might be something they would be judged on. And one of the things that we were talking through, this is just something, again, we're trying to help her grow through. The next year she came back, she won the interview, ended up winning the overall Miss Unstoppable. And the judges were the same judges doing the interview portion. And they said she was tremendous. She made eye contact, but she worked on it because she had this passion that she wanted to win.
Yeah.
And then when we're doing, and we go out and we do interviews and we're on TV and she's having to make eye contact with people, and her mom, she just sobbed talking about it. She was like, I gave up. I just assumed she couldn't do it because she never really has, and we've never pushed her to, but we had a reason to push. And so, that is one of those things that comes from this event that, again, we just see this personal growth and the experiences that are there. And so that's really what it's been about. So we're excited. In our 10th year, we're going to have every one of our previous winners is going to come and be showcased during the event as well.
Wow.
As we get ready to crown our 10th winner.
Wow, that would be great. And do you have somebody shoot that video and put it on your YouTube channel or something?
We are working on trying to get a new videographer for this year. We always have professional photographers come out and take a bunch of pictures for us that we put together our own little videos and stuff. But yeah, we definitely want to be able to share that out, and that'll be September 16th will be when the event is. So,
okay.
But it is just a tremendous day. We always have a great time with it.
Awesome. So we've just got a couple of minutes left. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Talk a little bit about the lights. Used to be known as the lights on St. Paul. Now it's the lights at AbilityPoint.
Yes. So, when we moved here to our office on St. Paul, we labeled it that so they knew where people to go. But we also missed people knowing what the event was for. And so we wanted to make sure our name was attached to it. So Lights at AbilityPoint, it's a drive-through lights display. It's about 3/4 of a mile en route as you come down and wrap around our building. We've got a tunnel of lights. It's the wonderful LED lights that you've probably seen in videos online where it makes patterns and stuff as you drive through. This last year, we put up a 65-foot tree beside the tunnel, being the biggest tree in the state of Kansas. We got about 1.5 million lights that go through. So it's a drive-through display, and it's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it helps to support the programs that we do. We do about 250 activities a year, and about 1/3 of those are completely free or nearly free. And this is one of the ways we're able to support that. So we've had great support from the community, and we really feel like, it is one of those highlights. If you're going to be in Wichita in the holiday season, you want to come check it out. And it is one of the neat things too. So many of our self-advocates are able to be a part of putting this event together. So the people who grew up in the programs are helping to put it on each and every night.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. And so I'm actually going to pick that as that should be one of your hidden gems, even though it's what you do. I didn't know about the lights for a lot of years, and then we started going as our kids grew, and just had a blast, and it was awesome. And I only got to meet you, I think, somewhere around 2010, 2012, somewhere in there. And they love going back every year, and the money that is raised is for a great cause, and I think that's awesome. So give me a couple of other hidden gems that you love around Nashville. Nashville. Folks,
Wichita.
Yep, that's the first blooper of the show. Well done, Edward. So as our next guests come on for our next episode, which happens to be in Nashville, the Wichita Wow episode, let me restate that. Give me a couple of hidden gems around Wichita, Kansas that you love.
Yeah, one of the great things, and now I have 3 grandkids, little bitty ones and stuff, and they, as well as the kids involved in our Yes program, love the splash pads around town. The park department has redone their city pools and splash pads, and they've got some just incredible places that are free entertainment and stuff for the kids in the hot summer. But I think a lot of people haven't taken advantage of how amazing those really are. And the other thing is, and again, not really a hidden gem, but the Wind Surge, our new baseball stadium downtown, Riverfront Stadium, is just gorgeous. We've been able to do a couple mini tours down there. Our friends at Evergy have donated a suite for an upcoming event that we're able to take all of our self-advocates for free for a night to see that. So, it's not truly a hidden gem, but at the same time, it is one of those things that's been kind of a centerpiece, I think, of our community. And so we've been pretty excited about it. So, and obviously the lights, you got to come see them.
Right. Well, I think, anything that could be highly recognizable to you or me might be a hidden gem to somebody else that they didn't know. Now, could there be somebody in Wichita that doesn't know about the Wind Surge? I don't know. Maybe they just moved to Wichita, and maybe they're out on the west side of town and they don't travel east, and the east folks don't travel west, and it's downtown. So maybe, you never know what's a hidden gem. I had somebody on the Nashville version of this the other day, because I was kind of straddling, right? I've got businesses in Wichita, businesses in Nashville, and we still have properties and houses, all of our rentals and our personal places still in the Wichita area. And we're kind of renting an apartment while I build the business down here. But I'm bragging on Wichita all the time, right? And then people go, "Oh, you wouldn't want to know this about Nashville." I'm like, I've never been there. Like, it could be important. So, hey, Kevin, thanks for being on the show. And whenever you've got something that you would like to share, feel free to reach out. I'd love to have you back on and give us updates on a regular basis. Maybe once or twice a year, we could do some short episodes or something.
Yeah.
However, Wichita Wow can contribute and help you. And I know we're partners through the other thing that I do, and I'm glad that is working for you guys. But anytime you want, just reach out, and I'd love to have a conversation.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you guys so much, and hope to see you again soon.
Awesome, man. Have a great day.
Take care.